is missing after a night out at the other dorm. It's time to start caring.
Welcome to Talking News.
I do it just to make sure that we can get their face out there as many times as we can.
Chelsea Bear's body was never found. The community is still working together to try to locate Sarah Galloway.
Good job, Tree.
The parent of the missing daughter was sleeping in his car. We try and get that information out there.
This is the male we're looking for. Children, and they're just playing in this area near the housing area. One male comes up and he sees the little children, and he goes on with them.
Just back up.
This is the male we're looking for. There are two males that appear in the video where the two children are playing. The first male will walk completely by. He looks at them, and it's the second male that comes up and engages the children. And so the first male who walks by in this video, he may have pertinent information that will help us. The gentleman right here. Through our investigation and through statements, we've pretty much been able to identify the two children and the second individual. And so what we're trying to do is to close the loop on the third individual in the video, who is the first one who walks by as the children are playing. It is after this, just a few minutes later, where we received the report of our missing 3-year-old child, better known as Cupcake. Okay, turn the lights back on, please. Who were concerned about her well-being. Officers also made contact with two persons of interest, and they are currently being questioned by our detectives. We have them with us at this time, and we're going to be conducting an extensive interview and investigation to hopefully further lead us to this young baby. Unfortunately, investigators have not received any information on the whereabouts of Kamille at this time. Our officers and detectives will continue to canvass the area where the vehicle was located, where the suspects were found, and also the location of where she was missing. We will not end our command post or our search until we've found some resolution. We're going to stay committed to locating this 3-year-old baby. It's something that affects not just one community, one part of town. This affects the entire city. It affects the state. And I think everyone wants to see this young baby found and back home. We have involved several entities of law enforcement to assist with this investigation, including the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, and Crime Stoppers, so that every element of law enforcement was involved. We have also made sure that our Special Victims Unit with the Birmingham Police Department and our robbery homicide stay committed to this 24/7 so that we have investigators on scene. But more importantly, I want to Let the citizens of this city know that the Birmingham Police Department remain committed to finding this young child so that we can place her back in the arms of her family. So if anyone out there who has information related to the whereabouts of Kamille, also known as Cupcake, if you know where she is or you want to provide any additional information related to her whereabouts, or you want to assist law enforcement in any way possible, we encourage you to call Crime Stoppers. You can provide any anonymous tip by calling 205-254-7777. I really encourage our citizens to become involved. I ask them to remain focused on finding this young baby and help us in the commission of resolving this matter. I'm going to give our mayor an opportunity to speak, and I'll come back for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Chief. I think right now all of our hearts and our minds are on Kamille, affectionately known as Cupcake, and her whereabouts. I can tell you that I want to reiterate what Chief has said. This doesn't just affect Kamille's family or the neighborhood she was in, but it affects our entire city. And so what I want all of us to do is not only pray for Kamille and hopefully she's returned safely, but I want us to also pray for her family. And I want to publicly state that, Chief, that you all and the men and women you have on the ground and the resources you provided and the additional support you have from the FBI and everybody else, that we continue to work hard under this search. I understand that the past 48 hours have been extremely tough for this family. And I imagine it's been tough for Kamille, affectionately known as Cupcake as well. But as we all continue to think about this, if anybody has any credible information, as Chief said, please call 205-254-7777. This is a number to Crime Stoppers. And if you have any information that's credible, it will be helpful to assist the police. At this time, what I want to do is turn it back over to our Chief, and let's all keep Kamille, affectionately known as Cupcake, in our thoughts and in our hearts and minds. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor.
Chief, can you tell us if y'all are still operating on the belief that this was a complete stranger abduction?
Well, the most important thing that we do with any investigation is to remain open, keep our minds open, and follow every lead that comes available. The worst thing we can possibly do is to close our minds and focus on one thing. We have to focus on the evidence and where the evidence leads us. And so at this point, we remain focused on conducting a thorough investigation.
Chief Bakari Savage, WBRC. Kamille's been missing since 8:30 Saturday night. What is the perceived danger level that she is in right now?
Well, anytime a child comes up missing, the danger level is extremely high. However, our goal is not to focus on just that. Our goal is to focus on a thorough investigation, and that's what we intend to do.
The people of interest now, are they not cooperating? Is that why you don't have any credible information moving forward about her whereabouts?
Well, we're not going to go into complete details of what we have or the depth of the investigation, but we are following every lead. We do have 2 people in custody, as I indicated. They are persons of interest. We've done an exhaustive search for video evidence linking them to the crime, the location, the whereabouts, the location where the baby was taken. And so we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But as you know, it takes time to follow the leads, the trails, and also to get all law enforcement on the same page to make sure that everyone is focused and putting in their part of what we need to close this.
Would it be safe to say that those people are answering your questions?
Yes.
Describe the level of manpower that y'all have put into this. How many officers, how many agencies, what are the hours like?
For the past 48 hours, we've committed all of our resources. I can't give you an exact number right now, but, people have jumped in even without being asked because they want to make sure that this child is returned home.
Chief, you mentioned the Amber Alerts expanding.
Yes.
Evaluate that in your eyes on Saturday night from the time she was reported missing to the time it went out. How do you think that process went?
Well, the thing is that we are always going to expand our investigation. I think it's important at this point to expand the Amber Alert due to the amount of time that has passed, but also to make sure that we're reaping the attention of those outside of the state of Alabama who might have further information. Our detectives moved rather quickly to ensure that we were identifying the vehicle, identifying suspects involved, following every lead and closing in on those who we believe were involved. However, we want to make sure that her picture, her face is out there in the media so that everyone, even in the surrounding states, know who she is.
And Chief, what, if